my name is Kari Shanalek and I am a street style and fashion photographer in New York City. I love to share tips and lessons for aspiring photographers, especially in the fashion space and in New York City. I often get asked by people wanting to break into photography, what is the right camera to purchase? I currently have two different cameras. They're both Nikon, so if you are looking to purchase a Nikon, I'm going to share some pros and cons of each model, which will hopefully help you decide which camera is best for you. My most used camera is this Nikon Z7 Mark II. I use this for all of my professional shoots, including fashion weeks. It is a full-frame mirrorless. It produces 45.7 megapixel images, and it can also record 4K video. The lens that I have on it right now is an 85mm 1.8, and this is the lens that I use for the vast majority of my street style. But you can really find any lens that you need that is compatible with this camera. There's a wide range of them that are compatible with the ZFX format. This has really fast autofocus for both photo and video with really great facial and eye recognition. Like most standard full-frame mirrorless cameras, I can shoot in both manual as well as auto and a bunch of different other preset settings. Since this has a digital shutter, the max shutter speed is 1/8000, which is incredible for capturing really fast motion as well as bright situations. It has two card slots. One is for an SD card and one is for a CF Express, so if you ever want to shoot double or need a backup. It is weatherproof. You can take it out in misty situations, by water, if it's dusty, if it's windy, and it won't get damaged. It has a pretty good battery life, but I always like to bring some extras with me, especially if I'm shooting video, which will take up more battery. If you'd like to do self-portrait photography, you can also connect this camera to SnapBridge, which is the remote mobile app for Nikon. There are also some great customization options. It's just really top of the line, and you can do so much with this camera. There are a few cons to it, at least to me, and one of them is that there is no flip over screen. Screen doesn't articulate that much, so this isn't really a great vlogging camera or if you want to do self-portraiture without the app, but it is useful if you need to be shooting, you know, high up above or below. Since this is like the second to the top of the line camera that Nikon offers in their mirrorless series, there are a lot of customizations and controls that are great if you are already familiar with cameras. If you're not that familiar with cameras, it could get overwhelming or you might just never use any of the customizations. My bottom line for the Nikon Z7 Mark II is that it is great for professionals or amateurs looking to go pro. It can be suitable as a travel camera if you have a lower profile lens, because really the body is not that big, especially compared to DSLR cameras and some other mirrorless cameras like the Canon R5. I just recently got my second camera, and this is the Nikon Z50. So it is also a mirrorless camera, but is a crop sensor, but is able to create images up to 20.9 megapixels, which is a little less than half the amount that the Nikon Z7 Mark II can produce. It can also do 4K video, but it is a bit limited with the frame rates that you can do. This camera is really lightweight and compact, which makes it fabulous for travel. On it right now, I have a DX 16 to 50 millimeter lens, which is really great for vlogging. So if you're a video creator, this is a really good camera. It also has a flip down screen. Isn't the most convenient compared to other cameras that have a flip up screen, but it still is very convenient if you are doing any sort of vlogging or video creation. You can also use the SnapBridge app if you want to do self-portraiture or even for video creation. Just like its big brother, the Nikon Z7 Mark II, you can shoot on both manual as well as auto and a bunch of different preset settings. There are also cool built-in effects like toy camera and built-in editing if you aren't that experienced with editing on a computer or you just don't have access to programs. The lens options for this is a little bit more limited because it is a crop sensor, so you're limited to the DX line that Nikon has for the Z series cameras, and they're mostly just kit lenses or zoom lenses, very limited for primes or really high performing lenses. A note as I'm editing this, you can also use lenses that are meant for full frame cameras. There will just be a crop factor when they are paired together. So example, a 40mm lens on this camera will be more like a 62mm lens. Like I said, since this is a crop sensor, it has much smaller file sizes than a full frame like the Nikon Z7 Mark II. So your general image quality is just going to be less than the top of the line cameras. I also find that it has slower focusing. It does have some facial tracking technology built in, but I just find it's a lot slower, as well as the actual shooting. It has a fairly short battery life, a lot shorter than the Z7 Mark II. So if you were using it a lot, I would definitely recommend getting a second or maybe even third battery. It also only has one card slot, which is also in the bottom next to the battery slot. so you aren't able to shoot double or have a backup. And even though it is also an electronic shutter, the max shutter speed is 1/4000. Also, just a side note, I already lost the eye cushion. It just fell off. My bottom line for the Nikon Z50 is that this is really great as a beginning camera. It's really great for travel, casual portraiture, and especially great if you are a video creator. I wouldn't say that this is well suited for high volume photography because of the battery life, really fast motion shoots where you need a high shutter speed and fast focusing, as well as any large scale editorial or printing that you might do because of the smaller file size. Thanks so much for watching. I hope that this helps you if you were trying to pick out a new Nikon mirrorless camera. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and stay tuned for the next video.